Hey, what's going on? It's Joey Myers from the Hitting Performance Lab, and in this bonus video, this is the second one, we're going to talk about how to make swing science sticky. We're going to go over three things. K-Star or Kelly Starrett from MobilityWOD.com's The One Joint Rule. We're going to talk about Dr. Serge Grakovetsky's Spine Engine Theory, and then we're going to talk about Thomas Myers of Anatomy Train's Tensegrity or Tension Integrity. So the first one, the One Joint Rule, Kelly Starrett talks about. I'm going to try and post a video of him talking in about an hour-long video, but we're just going to take a small clip of him doing a spinal integrity test. And what's interesting about this test is that it talks about, for example, if the head and the spine lose their integrity, so if I drop my chin to my chest, what happens if I were to have my arm straight out and have somebody try and bend my arm with me in this position versus down versus back, what happens, the amount of strength or being able to brace there. I'll have that video below. But how that applies to the baseball swing is, even if I might even post a clip of Andrew McCutchen, our NL 2013 MVP, and actually at contact you'll see him bring his head down. And that's not a good thing. He's breaking his spinal integrity, and it's actually bleeding force at impact. And scary to think the kind of numbers he put up. He could have put up better numbers. But I'll try and post that video below. But the one joint rule just means that we have to move at one joint. If it's just the hip, okay, we can flex the spine, but we can't turn the head down because your spine is made up of individual vertebrae. Each vertebrae, think of those as each is a joint. And if you move that joint, you can only move one of those joints. That's it. You got to abide by the one joint rule. It's like when we hit, we want to make sure that we have a slight hip hinge with the butt back. That's our one joint. So from there, we have to stay extended. We can get into a flex, a side bending position in order to get into our axial rotation. But if you watch Robinson Cano, it's his head and spine, and his head floats right over his rib cage, and his rib cage floats right over his pelvis throughout most of the whole swing. So we want to make sure that we're abiding by the one joint rule. The spine engine theory that Dr. Serge Grakovetsky talked about, he said that there's three spinal movements. Two he grouped together. One is flexion, extension, or just standing straight up. The other one is side bending. And then the last one is axial rotation. And what he said was, you have to have, if you have two of them present, then almost always the end result is the third one. So when we hit, we want axial rotation to be at the end, so we have to make sure that we get some kind of flexing or extending and then side bending in order to get maximal axial rotation. So when you hit, it's very applicable. The spine engine theory is very applicable to the swing. And the last one, tensegrity, which is tension integrity, we have these compression and tension forces inside our body at all time acting on each other. And we have this fascial tissue that our bones and muscles float in. It's very tense type of material. And it's made up of a lot of collagen, which is very springy. And when we swing, that's what we're doing. When we get into our catapult loading system position, when we're getting that position, what we're doing is we're driving this front shoulder down and back towards this back hip. And what I call the stability X pattern. So you have a line across your chest this way. So to compress these springs, we compress them diagonally this way. So when we get into our catapult loading position, that's what we're doing, taking this shoulder here. Okay, this compresses. You can only compress one spring at a time. And then this side will actually extend, and that's what we want. We want it to extend. That's why we're coming back here. And on your back, the opposite happens. So if this is compressing, the same line on the back is extending, and if this one is extending, then the same line on the back is compressing. So we want to make sure that we're compressing our body's natural springiness. So in this video, making swing science sticky, we talked about the one joint rule of K-Star Kelly Starrett of MobilityWOD.com, the spine engine theory by Dr. Serge Grakovetsky, and then we talked about Thomas Myers and his theory of tensegrity and talking about fascial tissue and the springiness of our bodies. If you got any questions on this, just wanted to clear up anything, post your questions or comments below. Otherwise, make sure we're swinging smarter by moving better.